We are at part 4, and I'm continuing to re-record all my paid courses and offering them here on YouTube for free. In part 1, 2, and 3, we learned about color palettes, HSL colors, and in part 4, we are going to put that into action and actually create our design system. So if you're enjoying these free lessons, hit like and subscribe and consider becoming a member. So since we learned about color wheel, in order for us to create our brand color, we are going to use monochromatic colors. So in this example, we will choose the purest form of purple, let's say 270 degrees. And in order for us to put this into practice, we go visit a brand new Figma file, and on the right hand side we have the styles. So we would click plus and color, and in this example we would just give it the name primary. You must give your colors a name. Description is optional, so we will leave it as empty. This gives you additional context, and it would be searchable. For example, here we can call this purple, and then we could add brand color with comma. This would be treated as search tags when we want to search for this. So let's go ahead and change it by clicking the properties, and we know that for the purest form of purple we would go with 270 and then 100% from the saturation and then 50% from the lightness. You don't really always need to go with the purest form of every color family. I'm just using it for this example. You could go ahead, for example, with 50%. 50% would give you a less intense purple version of the color family, but again, depending on your brand color, you could choose and modify it. But for my example, I would go with the most intense version of the purple, and once I'm happy with this, I would create the style by clicking create style. And then as you can see, this is how easy it is for me to create my primary color. So now that we have our primary color created, let's go ahead and quickly create a button. This tutorial will focus on color, so we will get into text layouts and frames later on. But if you want to quickly create a button, we would put a text and put a frame around it. So if we go ahead and click the 4 dots, we have now the ability to select our primary color. So as soon as we select it, it is getting applied, and here we have the text which is black. So let's go ahead and create another color style and call this text in this example. So here this would be our text. For the description we can give it white, and then for the white color we would go with 0 and 0, and then for the lightness value we would go with 100%, and that would give us the color white. So we would create that style. So here we have our primary color and our text color. So if we select the text element and go to the fill panel, we could click on the 4 dots and now select the text color. And as I mentioned, the description lets you search. For example, if we have another element and now we want to search for colors, let's say that these colors were not applied from the beginning. So here we could click the 4 dots and search for the keyword purple. You see the primary would show up. And also if we searched for the keyword white, the text would show up. So you can use the description and separate them with comma as keywords. So this way you have the ability to search between your colors. And of course, if you search by the word primary or text, they will also get filtered as well. So why reusable colors really matter? They matter because it lets us create a system. So if we go ahead and duplicate this holding Option and Command D, and also if we go ahead and duplicate this page, so we have page 2, let's say in page 2 we have 2 buttons, in page 1 we have 5 buttons. If our primary color changes down the line, we don't need to go through all of these elements and change them one by one. We can change them here at once. However, let's say we made a mistake and our frame 2 and 3 we are not applying the primary color. So in order for us to detach colors, we could select the elements, and here we have this detach icon. So let's go ahead and detach the background color and as well as the text color, and you see it reverts back to the hex code. And now let's say we decide to change our primary brand color. So we go ahead and click edit, and here we click the properties, and let's say our primary brand color is blue. So let's just go ahead and give it 210, and then as soon as we make an update, everything gets the update. Not only the updates are applied in this page number 1, they are already applied in page number 2. However, you see the difference that because we detached our colors from frame 2 and 3 and we overwrite them using hex code, which is the purple hex code, they didn't get the update. And that is the only reason you would use a color style over just hard-coded numbers, because you want to have your system scalable. And of course, if you change this to blue, you have to make sure to change this to blue as well. So when you search for the primary color, which is changed for blue, in this example, let's go ahead and change this purple to blue. Here, if I go ahead and search for blue, my primary shows up, and now I can go ahead and select it and link it back to my color style. Also, how do we create different shades of primary color and add it and expand our color style? We would simply right click and duplicate this one. As we duplicate this, we have now 2 primary. So if we go ahead and change this one to 40%, which makes it a bit darker, and as you can see, this is the same blue, but the darker version of it, which is 40%. 40%. So if I close this, it is a bit confusing for me. So as a designer, if I have to now go ahead and select a color here, if I click my library, I'm seeing primary repeated twice. So what would be the easier version for me to tell the difference? It is by simply renaming them using the naming convention of lightness and grouping them based on their family. So the way we would do it in Figma is pretty easy. We would go ahead and select the color styles, and once we select both of them, we would right click and group the selection. So as soon as we group the selection, we have the parent group here. So we can call the parent group primary, and then for the other primary, we could go in the edit mode and rename it to 50. So basically 50 is the lightness value from the HSL family. So this is a way for us to tell the difference. We can keep the blue color because again, this is the same blue color that is being repeated across the primary colors. So now if we go ahead and right click on our primary and rename this to 40, now we have primary 50% lightness, primary 40% lightness. So now if we go ahead and click the parent frame on the fill color, now we have the primary / appearing for us. So if we go ahead and click the library, here you see because we grouped them, we have the primary header added here and the lightness value is appearing for us. So not only we can now filter by primary, which only shows us the primary color, we could also filter by blue. The blue color would show us all the primary colors, and also we could do 40, for example. Even though we haven't renamed this blue 40, behind the scene Figma knows that this family belongs to the blue color family because we gave the blue keyword in the description, and it also is renamed to 40. Same thing applies if we go ahead and filter by primary and then space 50, we are getting the same color family, which is primary, and then the 50. And this is how we would build our color system, by grouping the elements and renaming them based on their lightness value.